DIG, 钓魚台 Island Group. There are 8. So in that sense, you see this kind of baseline in the. You see the baseline right here, the baseline, and then you have the territorial sea. In addition to Taiwan, there are other claims. Is the provisional law enforcement lines of the exclusive economic zone, the LC, right here, and this is the DIG right here, 钓魚台 Senkaku Island right here.
Does anyone live on these islands?
No, because if that's the case, you are crossing the red lines, and that's set by the Chinese government, and Japan is understand that red lines is not going to cross the red line. And this is the Japanese territorial sea claim. Again, you see this Senkaku Island right here. Right here, the 8 islands right here. So within this area belong to Japan's exclusive economic zone, including the Okinawa Torishima. I think you have heard about the Okinawa Torishima, the size of Okinawa Torishima, just like the king-size bed. But for the Japanese claim, this one right here, the king-size bed right here can help generate 400,000 square kilometers of blue territory. Then what about right here, Senkaku Island? Is that island big enough to generate 200 miles easy? Exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. So this is recently in response to Japanese nationalization of the DIG. So in September, the Chinese government announced 17 base points. So you see these the PRC baseline and base points in DIG, and within this line we call it internal waters, which means you exercise sovereignty. And then from this line out, world moving toward that direction, you have 12-mile territorial sea. But again, you are exercising sovereignty. So you are making that claim, which means you have to conduct law enforcement. You have to conduct regular patrolling law enforcement to back up your announcement. So that's recently we see that it's very complicated in the East China Sea. So we see the potential of conflicts amongst China, Japan, Taiwan, and so on. So all kinds of lines are existing in that area. So disputes continue. In June 2008, after President Maing九he was elected, and then in May 2008, and we see that Yann-huei, this is a fishing boat. There was a conflict between Taiwan and Japan. So the Taiwanese fishing vessel were collided and sunk. And then we also see the increasing patrolling of the Chinese sending the surveillance vessel, even warship, to that area. And this is the one, April 2010, we see that, again, the Chinese action. And then all of you know this, is one of the important factors affecting the Sino-Japanese relations. That's in September 2010, the Chinese fishing vessel was arrested, the captain was arrested, so China imposed economic sanction, and then a lot of things, just like today, we have seen that kind of development. And this is one thing written by Nicholas Kristof. Tensions have erupted over some barren rocks in the Pacific that you may never have heard of, but stay tuned. This is the boundary dispute that could get ugly and someday have far-reaching consequences for China, Japan, Taiwan, and the United States, which was published in the New York Times. And we see the rise of nationalism both in East China Sea and in the South China Sea. And then Chinese sending a warship surveillance vessel to that disputed area, and we see that. And this is one in April. The Tokyo governor made that decision, and we know that in July, Noda administration decided to nationalize the island, DIG. So escalation of tension in the region, and we see that action taken by two sides, even Japan and Hong Kong activists, Taiwanese, activists and from China as well. So we see that kind of arrested, and then the flags, the ROC, PRC flags landed, disputed island. Japanese are doing the same thing. You see that they landed the island and flying the Japanese flag. Again, demonstration a lot in mainland China. So this many activities going on. So that Taiwan tried to take action in response to Japanese action. So this former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Yang, he summoned the Japanese ambassador in Taiwan and talking about that. So action again. United States sent 2 aircraft carriers to East China Sea and South China Sea. So U.S. intervention, U.S. interests in the East China Sea, which is one of the important factors affecting the recent development. So in countering U.S. action, China sent other warship to conduct military exercise in October. This is a recent one. In fact, 2 days ago, yesterday. Is today 29th? Yesterday, China sent another naval flotilla to Pacific Islands. So it's going to expand the first island chain strategy. We are going to see that more and more. So this is exercise between Japan and United States. That's in November 5th and 6th. Now, a couple of days ago, in November 20th, the President Obama and the Chinese Prime Minister Wen Jiabao, they met when they attending the East Asia Summit. That's in Cambodia. So they say that the United States has national interests in the South China Sea, in particular to maintain peace and stability and respect for international law, like kind of freedom navigation. And Japan is going to have election next month, 16th of December, because the Noda government, he decided to resolve the dialogue. And that's going to have some kind of important thing to watch. 26th November, last 2 days ago, the Japanese ambassador to mainland China, he make a statement. If unexpected things happen, it will do no good at all to everybody. So he urged the parties concerned to exercise self-restraint. And yesterday, I think the Japanese, either foreign minister or, the new ambassador to China, he said that the relationship between China and Japan is more important than the relationship between husband and wife. And what does that mean? So a lot of things we can see that, and now it's come to the President Ma in Taiwan in response to the recent escalation of tension in the East China Sea. And in the past, Taiwan has been very passive. So he decided to do something. So he proposed the 5-point peace initiative in the East China Sea. So I called it XP, East China Sea Peace Initiative. This is a very special occasion because the 60th anniversary of signing the peace treaty between Taiwan, Republic of China, and Japan. That's about 8 hours before the enter into force of the 1951 San Francisco Peace Treaty. So this is the one. The purpose is to propose the initiatives to foster peace and stability, economic prosperity, and the sustainable development of the marine environment in the Southeast China Sea, to seek out a path to coexistence and mutual prosperity for the parties concerned in the East China Sea. So this is the 5 points. I think you can get it, the pamphlet. You are able to read that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this 5 points of peace initiative. And then on 7th of September, he proposed the implementation guidelines. So how do you implement the XP? So there are 2 stages. Again, you have that information. So from the perspective of President Ma, he tried to promote cooperation and to have the dialogue. 3 sets of bilateral talks and 1 set of multilateral, trilateral talk among the parties concerned, which means Taiwan, China, Taiwan, Japan, Japan, China. That's 3 bilateral talks. And 1 set of the multilateral will be China, mainland China, and Japan. And how are we going to implement that? Then that is kind of not easy. So important issue, going to talk about code of conduct, maritime security, fishing, mining, and marine scientific research, and so on. So that's the XP and the implementation guidelines. And Maingio's East China Sea policy right now is that the safeguarding the sovereignty, putting aside the disputes, peace and reciprocity, and joint development. If that's the case, both East China Sea and South China Sea, the principle will be applied. So this is the President Maingio's XP. This is my question. Is it sincere, pragmatic, diplomatic effort, or an academic exercise by Professor Ma? But this come to, I'm trying to answer that question myself. When I read it, it is not an academic exercise, because if it's an academic exercise, are you going to spend $40,000 US to put that in the ad by the Washington Post?
400,000.
Yeah, right, 400,000. And New York Times, and is it an academic exercise? So there are other things. For example, President Ma, he himself went to Ministry of Foreign Affairs and gave lectures about the钓鱼台Islands, about the peace initiative, about how to implement, how to explain to international community that the BIG belongs to Republic of China. So he urged and he expects diplomats or governmental high-ranking officials, they can defend, they can interpret, they can explain the meaning, the reasoning of that initiative, or the grounds for ROC claim of sovereignty. So is that an academic exercise? Then right now we see more increasing regional and international positive responses, if not to say support. Some countries say support, but I will say positive responses from a number of countries from the different regions, European Union, European Parliament, Pacific Island countries, UK, Belgium, and even Russian Federation. Russian academics are giving their positive responses to this. And then even the United States, this is a hearing in September this year. Kirk Campbell said that the U.S. encouraged relevant parties to explore new cooperative arrangements for managing the exploitation of resources in the South China Sea, but that hearing is about East China Sea and South China Sea. So that that statement is also related to joint exploration and exploitation arrangement for the fisheries resources in the East China Sea and oil and gas exploitation in the East China Sea as well. So he said that joint exploration would not only allow claimants to reap material benefits, but could also help to build habits of cooperation and collaboration that will ultimately be needed to resolve the disputes in the East China Sea and South China Sea. So experience, I'm going to finish very soon. Experience of the South China Sea, maybe we can learn something from state practice in the in the South China Sea. For example, bilateral code of conduct between PRC, mainland China, and the Philippines. Bilateral code of conduct between Vietnam and the Philippines, 1995. We also have the 2002 DOC Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea, and in July 2011 they adopted the implementation guidelines. And they have in March 2005 they have the trilateral joint survey program to study the possibility, the potential of oil reserves in the spread island between national oil companies of the Philippines, Vietnam, and China. So a joint project, biodiversity, again, and then other joint statement. A lot of things going on. Can we, East China Sea, can we learn something from those state practice, experience in the South China Sea? So there are other agreements. arrangement, for example, MFCA, maritime military consultation agreement between United States and China.